Good morning, students. Welcome to the next lecture of switching theory and logic design. So in this class, our topic is combinational logic circuit design. So this is the concept of second unit, second part. So the second part of the complete second unit dealing with combinational logic circuit design. So coming to here, the topics of under this part. So first one, design of half adder, full adder. Design of half adder, full adder, and design of half subtractor and full subtractor. Next, applications of full adders. So there are different types of full adder applications are available. In that, we are discussing 4-bit binary adder and subtractor circuit, and BCD adder circuit, and XS3 adder circuit, and carry look ahead adder circuit. So these are the 4 different types of adders are available under the applications of full adder. Next, coming to the last topic, and this is very most important, design of code converters using Karnaugh map method and draw the complete circuit diagram. So here we have to implement the different types of code converter circuits. Next, coming to that, introduction to digital circuits. Introduction to our digital circuits. So our complete subject is a digital subject. So coming to this digital field, in the digital era, we are dividing the complete digital circuits into 2 categories. The first one, combinational circuit. The second one, sequential circuit. There are 2 types of circuits, combinational and sequential circuits. So coming to the examples of combinational circuits, adders, subtractors, comparators, decoders, encoders, multiplexers, demultiplexers, and some of the MSI standard cells. Some of the MSI standard circuits are cells. So these are the examples of combinational circuits. Next, coming to that, sequential circuit. So in the sequential circuits, we have some memory elements like flip-flops or latches. Next, coming to that, registers and counters. So these are the examples of sequential circuits. So simply we can see the definition of combinational circuits in this way. So a combinational circuit consists of logic gates. So a combinational circuit consists of logic gates whose outputs at any time are determined from only the present combination of inputs. So see here. So the major thing is here we are using logic gates. That is the key point for the combinational circuit. And the second one, the output of the circuit is depends upon the present combination of inputs. The present combination of inputs decides what is the output of the combinational circuit. It is very simple. So see this diagram. So this is a combinational circuit. It may be adder, it may be subtractor, it may be encoder, it may be decoder, it may be multiplexer. Okay. So coming to here, we have some inputs. Here we have some outputs. Here we have some outputs. So here we have some of the inputs and here we have some of the outputs. So coming to here, the inputs I am representing with small n. N number of inputs are available for combinational circuit. And coming to here, M. So M is nothing but as some of the output some of the count of the output representation. I am saying that M number of outputs are available for this combinational circuit. So here we have some relation between N and M. We have some relation between N and M that we will see in each and every specific combinational circuit. So this is not a common relation for all combinational circuit. For adders, N is this many number and M is this many number. These are the fixed for the N and M values for the different types of combinational circuit. So coming to that, so you have to simply remember that the output of this combinational circuit is depends upon the present state of the inputs, the present position of the input, the present position or present state. So present state of the inputs only decides the present output. So this is the combinational circuit. Next, coming to that, sequential circuit. So sequential circuit. So a sequential circuit is specified by a time of sequence of inputs, outputs, and internal states. So coming to here, in the combinational circuit, the output is depends upon the present input, but in the sequential circuit, the output is present upon the, depend upon the present inputs, okay, and previous state of the system. Previous state of the system and previous state of the outputs. So previous outputs decides present state outputs, present inputs also decides the present output, and state of the system also decides the present state of the output. It is very simple thing. For example, normal fan is a combinational circuit. When you switch it on the fan, automatically it will rotates. So when you switch off the fan, automatically the fan goes to off state. It is not rotating. Okay. So this is an example for combinational circuit. Next, coming to that, air conditioner. So this air conditioner is the example of sequential circuit. For example, when you switch it on the circuit, when you switch it on the AC, so automatically AC will goes to in the on state. But at the time AC will check what is the present room temperature. If the temperature is which is available in the room and given the temperature specification at the remote, if both are same, the AC automatically turn off. Okay. So, for example, if the generally air conditioner, what we are doing, we are maintaining either 20 degrees centigrade or 24 degrees centigrade. Already, if the room is 24 degrees centigrade, AC will not work. Why? Because you have given the input, it should work with 24 degrees centigrade. Already, room temperature is 24 degrees centigrade. So, the AC doesn't on. Okay, that is goes into off situation. If you want, for example, the room temperature goes to very high, then automatically AC check the temperature of the room. Automatically it switches on the that particular position. That is the state of the system is goes to on, and it will cool the room, and it will cool the room. So the output of the AC depends upon the not only by putting the switch, it checks the room condition. What is the previous state of the system? What is the previous condition of the room? So it depends upon the inputs and previous state of the outputs. This is an example of sequential circuit. So it contains memory elements. So it contains some memory elements. So that means it stores some temporary values. So for that reason, it needs some memory elements. The outputs are a function of the current inputs and the state of the memory elements. The output also depends upon the past inputs. So previous inputs and present inputs both are deciding factor for the sequential circuit output. Okay, right. So this is the block diagram example for the sequential circuit. So here we have some combinational circuit. For implementing the sequential circuits, we are using combinational circuit only. And the output of this combinational circuit, we are storing in the memory element. We are storing in the some memory elements. So this memory elements stores the information of the previous state of the output, and it will give the input of the combinational circuit. That is here. This is nothing but as fan. Okay. In AC also we have fan. Generally we are calling them as blowers. Blowers are also used for the winding for air purpose. Okay. So coming to here, this is nothing but as fan or blower. So in this memory elements, it will check that what is the room temperature. After checking that, values will be fed into the input. If the room temperature is very high, then automatically this fan goes to on situation. If the temperature is enough, whatever the requirement given by us, if both are same, then automatically this fan will be goes to off situation. Even if you are given the input, it will decides based on the memory elements. So this is a sequential circuit. So this topic we will discuss in the fourth unit. Fourth and fifth units of STLD subjects is completely meant for the sequential circuit, and this present second unit of the part, and third unit is completely we are discussing about the combinational circuits. The third unit we are discussing combinationals, and some of the combinational circuits we will discuss here also. Okay, right. This is about the sequential circuit definition. Now we have seen two types of definitions. The first one, combinational circuit. The output is depends upon the present state of the input. Next, coming to the sequential circuit definition. The present state of the output is depends upon the not only present inputs and previous state of the outputs also it depends. Okay, so that is the definition of sequential circuit. Now coming to here, now coming to here, next concept, analysis procedure, right? Analysis procedure. So what is this analysis procedure, right? So it is very simple thing. For example, in the market we have a lot of digital circuits. So by seeing that circuit, you have to say either that is a combinational circuit or sequential circuit. So in the given circuit is a combinational or sequential, you have to decide. Why? Because we have some testing area when you are joined after completion of your meeting, when you joined in a company. So in that company, if you are, for example, working as a testing engineer, otherwise we are working as a service engineer. So what you have to do, any complaints are coming from the customer side for that company, you have to go and you have to attend. So when you are attempting the call or when you are attending to the service, so then you are checking the circuit is a combinational or sequential. Then you have to check that is a combinational or sequential. Okay. For that analyzation purpose, we have some of the procedure points. Those points we will see. These are the steps. Make sure that it is a combinational or not sequential. So you have to check that is a combinational or sequential circuit. Which is that circuit? You have to decide. Next, no feedback path. If the circuit does not have feedback path, automatically that is a combinational circuit. If the circuit has the feedback path, then automatically that is a sequential circuit. No feedback path, that is a combinational circuit. If you have feedback, automatically that is a sequential circuit. Derive its Boolean functions and truth tables. So after analyzing the circuit, that is a combinational circuit. Otherwise, that is a sequential circuit. Now your task is you have to, what is the output function? Y is equal to what? And you have to draw the truth table also. What are the maximum possible combination of inputs? What is the output? Next, design verification. So then you have to you have to draw the logical diagram and you have to verify. After designing the circuit, you have to verify the functionality. Next, a verbal explanation of its function. So then, what is the main purpose of the system? You have to write down in the report. That is very, very important. Okay, right. We will see some of the examples here. So I have given some circuit here. So see here, analysis procedure. In the previous slide we have seen points. This slide we will analyze what is a behavior of this one. So right. So is it a combinational circuit or a sequential circuit? So check that. What is the first step? You have to identify this is a combinational or sequential. For identifying that, you have to check the feedback path. Is there any feedback path? Is there any feedback path? Right. There is no feedback path. So finally, you can call this one as a combinational circuit. This is combinational circuit. So coming to here, we have different types of AND gates, OR gate. First, what you have to do, here you have to derive an equation. That is, you have to write down a Boolean function. You have to write down a Boolean function. So for which elements you will write the Boolean function? Here for the output terminal you have to write down the function. So coming to here, we have two outputs. Coming to here, we have two outputs. Here you have two outputs. The first one is F1 and second one is F2. Now you have to write down two Boolean functions. Now you have to write down now you have to derive two functions, F1 and F2 functions, right? So how to find the F1? What is the inputs of for F1? These two are the inputs. This input is the AND gate, and second input is nothing but as T3, and T3 is nothing but as AND gate output. For that AND gate you have T1 and F2 bar, and coming to that, what is T1, what is the remaining things you have to do. So I will come from the input side, not from the output side. That we will see now. So coming to here, the first AND gate, it has inputs of A, B, C. So the output T2 is equal to ABC. T2 is equal to ABC. That is the output of this first AND gate. Next, coming to the what is T1? T1 is equal to A plus B plus C. Why I said A plus B plus C? This is the OR gate. So for that reason, I said that T1 is equal to A plus B plus C. This is T2, ABC. Next, coming to that, The AND gate of this one AB. Next, the AND gate of this one is AC. Here, why I said that AC? Here I already written AC inputs are there. Next, these are the inputs of BC. So for that reason, the AND gate output is BC. So AB, AC, BC. These are the outputs. So this is T2 and this is T1. Next, coming to this, the output of this OR gate. The output of this OR gate. Here we have three inputs. So I have written there F2 is equal to AB plus BC plus CE. F2 is equal to AB plus BC plus CA. So that is the F2 output. Next, coming to here, so this is F2 bar. F2 bar is equal to the complement of that one, that is equal to AB plus BC plus CA whole bar. So that I have represented with apostrophe symbol, that is whole bar. Okay, so F2 bar is the input for T3 and T1. T1 and F2 bar is the inputs for T3 AND gate. Next, coming to that, T3 is equal to, see here, T1 into F2 bar. T1 into F2 bar. So coming to here, T1 is equal to A plus B plus C. I have written A plus B plus C. And F2 bar is equal to AB plus BC plus CA whole bar. You have to use an AND operation in between these two. So AB plus BC plus CA whole bar. So in between these two, you have to use AND operation. So that is the T3. Now I have to find the final one, F1. F1 is equal to T3 plus next T2. T3 plus T2. So F1 is equal to T3 plus T2, where T3 is equal to, T2 is equal to ABC plus T3 is equal to this one. T3 is equal to, you have to write on this function. You have to write on this function as T3. Okay, so this is the analysis procedure for a digital circuit. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, so in the coming classes we will see what are the different types of digital circuits are available, how to design those circuits and how to identify those truth tables. Now you have to write down this truth table. So write down F1 equation, F2 equation. What are the inputs and what are the outputs you have to decide. Okay, right. Next. So this is the design procedure, how to design those type of circuits. This is a procedure. This is almost similar to analysis procedure. For example, in a company, if you are working in a company, some customers will come and ask, you have to develop this operation. For that, you have to design the circuit. Okay. For example, if I want a mobile, I want to establish a mobile company. For example, we have Nokia mobiles, we have Samsung mobiles. Like that, we will design a new, we will put a new company and we will implement new mobiles like Vivo, like Oppo. Okay, we have different types of companies. Like that, I want to establish a manufacturing unit of mobiles. Now I will go to the integrated chips circuit designing Intel company or maybe Motorola company or maybe any Texas Instrument company. I will go there and I will say that I want to implement mobile circuits. So I need this type of operation. That means for gaming purpose, for camera purpose, in the same way for internet connection purpose, I need a processor. I will say my all specification. Now coming to that engineer, that engineer will start designing the circuit. When the engineer has going to start the designing circuit, he has to use a design procedure. So that type of design procedure here we are discussing. So first, from the specification of the circuit, determine the required number of input and outputs and assign symbol to each concept. Okay, first of all, I am saying that I need this one, and my condition is this one. These are the specifications for that engineer, and from that specification he will construct the circuit and he will analyze how many inputs required and how many outputs required. Like that he will plan. Next, derive the truth table. Then he will start deriving the truth tables and Boolean functions and the relationship between input and outputs. That is referred as Boolean functions. Next, third step, obtain the simplified Boolean functions for each output as a function of input variables. So, after identifying the truth table, next he will start deriving the Boolean expression. So, the Boolean expression gives the relationship between inputs and outputs. Okay, the Boolean function provides relationship between inputs and outputs. Next, fourth point, draw the logic diagram and verify the correctness of the design. After writing the Boolean equation, after drawing the truth table, you have to now design your logic diagram. and you have to check its correctness. It is working properly or not. So that is important. So this is the design procedure for the combinational or sequential circuits. Right. So now we will start our original topic as per the syllabus. This is the first topic: binary adders, subtractors, and multipliers, and divisions also available. In this class we will see adders concept. In the next class we will see subtractors concept. Okay, right. Now, so here the concept of this one is half adder. The concept of this one is half adder. Right. Here we have two types of adders. In these two types of adders, the first one half adder is there. So, right, we have half adder, full adder. Half adder, full adder. So, what is meant by a half adder and what is meant by a full adder? A half adder do the sum operation for 2 bits only, right? It will do the addition for 2 bits. Coming to the full adder, it will do the addition for 3 bits, right? At a time, it can add only 2 bits, half adder, and full adder, at a time, it can add 3 bits. Okay, that means the input of this half adder is 2 inputs. That is, for example, A, B. There are 2 inputs. Okay, so 2 bits it should perform the addition operation. That means you are taking only 2 bits. So 2 bits means 2 inputs. That is A and B. So coming to the full adder, it will do the addition for 3 bits. So for that reason here we are giving 3 inputs. So these are the inputs. These are the inputs. Okay. Next, coming to that. So after addition operation, what are the outputs? After addition operation, what are the outputs? So when you are doing the summing operation, the output is nothing but a sum. So you will get the final output is sum, and one more is also there, carry. Okay, sum and carry. So this is also for full adder, sum and carry. Sir, here we are using 2 inputs, so for that reason we have written sum and carry. Here we are taking for 3 bits. Here also we have sum and carry. We don't have any other outputs. No, we don't have any other outputs. Here we have only sum and carry. Here the inputs for half adder is 2 and for full adder is 3. Coming to the outputs, here 2, here also 2. So those are the outputs. Those are the outputs of this half adder and full adders. Right. So simply I am saying that adder and I said that subtractor. So coming to here, adder, we have sum and carry outputs. Okay. In the same way for subtractor circuits, here we have outputs are difference and borrow. Right? For adder we have sum and carry outputs. For subtractor we have difference and borrow. Okay, these are the outputs of the subtraction purpose. Right? For the subtractors we have 2 outputs, difference and borrow. Is it clear? For the half adder how many inputs? For the full adder how many inputs? And coming to the adders, what are the outputs? And coming to the subtractors also, you have to see that if the half subtractor, you have 2 inputs. If the full subtractor, you have 3 inputs. Coming to the outputs, difference and borrow for the subtractors. Okay. So this is about introduction to half adders and full adders. Okay. Next, coming to that. So for this half adders, how to design the circuit? I said that to a half adder it will take 2 inputs. For half adder, it will take 2 inputs and 2 outputs. Right? 2 inputs, 2 outputs. I said that 2 inputs, for example, A, B. Okay. Right? I am drawing the first truth table. So here I have 2 inputs A, B. And coming to the outputs, one is sum. I will represent this one with S, and carry. Right? C-A-R-R-Y, carry. So I am representing with C. Okay. So A, B, sum, carry. These 2 are the inputs and these 2 are the outputs. So AB, two inputs are there. So each input is nothing but as a binary input. That is nothing but as it may be 0 or 1. That is the maximum possible combinations for AB is 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Here I am saying that normal arithmetical addition. I am saying that here a normal arithmetical addition. 0 plus 0. What you will get the answer? 0. There is no carry. And 0 plus 1. That is output 1 and carry 0. 1 plus 0. 1 and carry 0. Next 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. But in binary 2 is available, 2 is not available. What is the 2 equivalent in binary? 1 0. So in this 1 0, 0 is the sum and 1 is the carry. And 0 is the sum and 1 is the carry. So this is the truth table for half adder, sum and carry. Now our next task is you have to derive an expression for sum and carry. So coming to here, the sum expression, the sum, that is nothing but as S is equal to, right? So this is the sum expression. Now, so you have to check, right? So these are the sum output combinations. From the sum output combinations, you have to check that wherever you get the one output. So here I got in the two places 1. Here I got and here I got. So now coming to that, what is the combination of inputs? What is the combination of inputs? Here here I got the output for sum and the input combination is A is equal to 0, B is equal to 1. How can I write this one? A bar and B. I am writing this one as A bar with B. Next coming to here, 1 is there. One more 1 is there. So this one 1 0. That is A value is equal to 1, B value is equal to 0. That is AB bar. AB bar. And I have to use an OR gate operation here. So this is the OR gate operation. This is the OR gate operation. Remember that. So this is the sum operation. I am saying that this is a sum operation. This is a sum expression, and this is nothing but as OR gate operation. In between, I am using it as the AND gate operation. Right. So see here, by using AND gate operation, OR gate operation, I am implementing arithmetical addition operation. Right. So final sum value is this one. And coming to that, from this carry also you have to write down the expression. Carry is equal to the only one is there at the output combinations of carry. That one has inputs of A is equal to 1, B is equal to 1. Now C is equal to AB. It is very simple thing. How to write a Boolean function from our truth table. So from this truth table, check that here you have for sum operation. In this case I got output. In this case I got output. Two cases. Either in this one I got output. In this case I got output. So two operations. Both are not necessary, but any one of the cases is necessary for getting the output. So any one OR gate I am using. So for this gate combination, I am using OR gate operation. Coming to, if you want to get the output here, the inputs must be A bar and B. So A bar and B values should be like this one, 0 and 1. So this is a must and should operation. In between, the relationship between A and B is 0 and 1. A bar and B. So A bar and means AND gate. For AND gate I am representing with dot operation. I represented A bar B plus AB bar. So this is a sum expression, this is a carry expression. Now I have to draw the logic diagram. It is very simple thing. So see here some logic diagram. A bar B. So I have drawn an AND gate here and I am representing one input is A bar and another input is B. Next, this one is over. Next, AB bar. AB bar. First I have drawn this AND gate operation. This one is over and this one is over. Now in between OR gate operation, these two AND gate outputs I have connected to an OR gate and this is the final output. This is the sum output. This is the sum output we are representing with capital S. Okay, so this is a sum operation. Next, coming to the carry operation. AB, here we have only one AND gate. This is A, this is B, and this is carry. This carry, how I am representing? With capital C. So this is the carry operation. Okay, so this is the complete one, and I am representing half adder in generally like this. So this is the half adder block diagram. This is A, this is B, and this is sum, and this is carry. So in between I have half adder. So under this box I have the complete logic diagram of this one. This is the complete diagram I have in this box, right? So this is the block view representation of addition subtraction circuit. So this is the half adder block diagram view. In this block diagram we have this sum circuit and carry circuit. So this is the generalized half adder block diagram representation. For example, if you are taking full adder, you have to represent here a full adder, and here you have 3 inputs and 2 outputs. Here you have two inputs and 3 outputs. So two outputs. Next we will see. So see here, this is the detailed explanation for half adder, and this half adder, this is our truth table, and this is the block view. And from this truth table, I have sum is equal to, here I have written in xy, and previously I have said that AB. Here S is equal to xy bar plus x bar y, and C is equal to xy, that is equal to AB. Okay, so same sum and carry expressions. These are the sum and carry expressions logic diagram. So xy bar, x bar y, xy. So if this xy bar, x bar y, I did an OR gate operation. These two AND gate outputs are connected to an OR gate, and the final output is sum, and this is carry. Next, coming to that, this circuit seems to be like an XOR gate. This circuit seems to be like as an XOR gate. That XOR gate I have represented here. XY, 2 inputs I have given. So the XOR gate operation is what? X bar y plus xy bar. That is the sum output. And coming to the carry, that is x into y. This is x into y. That is equal to C. So this is a half adder. It's a truth table, and it's block diagram view, and it's logic diagram, and it's a simplified logic diagram. So in this half adder circuit, in this half adder block, we maybe insert this diagram or maybe insert this diagram, right? Otherwise, you can convert this complete circuit into NAND gates. And place that NAND gate circuit here, right? That NAND gate, whatever it may be. In the half adder circuit, we have different technologies. In different technologies, we have different internal diagrams. That internal diagrams, these two are the examples, and third example you can implement by using NAND gate. Otherwise, fourth example you can implement by using, that is NOR gate. That is completely up to you. You have to practice all these things. So this is half adder. In the next class, we will see full adder diagram, full adder circuit diagram, and after that we will continue with subtractors also, half subtractor and full subtractor. So finally, I am concluding that in this class we have seen what is meant by combination circuit, what is meant by sequential circuit. In that combination circuit, we have learned about half adder. In the next class, we will see full adder, half subtractor, full subtractor. Okay, thank you.